here we have our second game of last Friday's stream with actually the very same matchup on both sides, just inverted in position, and also some swapped out factions. So I am just quickly gonna go over the factions and all that again, but I'm not gonna go too into detail with the ratings this time. On the north, in the northmost slot, we have Whiskey going Aeon and starting first land. I'm assuming this was the air slot, though I don't remember. Then 2 is south left. Yeah, sure. Why not south left? There's me with Seraphim and going also first land. It's first land for everyone, yeah. Then to the south of that, there's 1 for 1 going Seraphim as well. And on the bottom team, we have top to bottom in the positioning Doiran going Seraphim on the north. Then in the middle, we have Chiron going UAF. And to the south of that, we have Aurora's going Seraphim on the presumably air slot. Chiron just pointed out that he is gonna go to the right, and also that he is gonna take this max. Wait, no, which blue is that? Might also just be Aurora's pointing out that he wants this max. I am not quite sure. But I somewhat remember how this game went, which was okay-ish. At least on the stuff I was focusing on. Let's see how completely fucked up everything is. Also, before too much happens, yes, there is a lot of reclaim. If you would, okay, 18,650 reclaim, that is currently still on the map, so more or less what the map started out with 2,000 reclaim in the very middle, split up to the north and south side of this lake, and then about 6,000 reclaim field of T1 and I'm guessing T2 Rex to the northeast and southwest of northwest and southeast of this lake. The central lake itself is well, it is sort of pathable by those shorelines, so if you have hover you can maybe float over something, but it's not really that important because you still have to, I think you still have to get around to basically the central part to actually get units down there. So you basically have to more or less hold the corner to get stuff onto the water, and the rest is closed in by cliffs. I am currently walking my ACU up to the middle and am already reclaiming. Let's see how well I put that mass to use. I don't remember how well that went, but my best guess is not very well. Whiskey's ACU is currently already joining me, and I have already set up an engineer to build at least a radar that covers. Give me a second. It covers down to over here, so it at least covers the entire mass field and the backline towards my base, so nothing should be able to run by unnoticed. 1 for 1 on the south side is already facing off with Chiron in a second, I'm guessing, though Chiron got to the reclaim first, just by the way this is set up. The northern team gets the left reclaim field first due to shorter distance, the southern team gets the right one, and apparently 1 for 1 just walked there and had his ACU idle, which sure. I am pretty sure we just had... Apparently we didn't have a whole ton of... Okay, Whiskey had a lot of reclaim. And 1-for-1 now as well, I'm guessing, because of, right, the ACU reclaiming. Eco-wise, it's currently more or less even with a discrepancy of 5 income. I'm thinking this is just... I think this is just without reclaim income, because that would be vastly different. And I think this was the point where Whiskey screamed at me that what the fuck is my ACU doing, because I had it on a patrol order somewhere around here and it started reclaiming those small pebbles instead of the actual juicy wrecks. So yeah. Whiskey, yep, Whiskey focusing on air, already up to T2 air in a second, and working on his third T2 max, whilst I am just now starting on my second. On the enemy team we have one T2 max out from Aorus, and the second one slow upgrading without assistance, and one just finished from Chiron with the engineers now idle because Chiron is apparently queuing the upgrades up one by one. Never mind, now there's the full upgrade order on all of the 4 core maxes. Right. Our 2 ACUs up here, Whiskey's and mine, are currently seeing those enemy tanks but can't really do a whole lot because of the cliff, so I'm trying to send in my units, which sort of works to get the enemy forces to focus on me. And I think, okay, I positioned my other, like a small secondary force up here just because I noticed I didn't properly defend this. But yeah, radar-wise, I am... If my ACU stuck around here, this might be a bit of a problem because the radar is fairly far behind, so the effective range into enemy territory is not that great. 1-for-1 on the southern side has almost completely cleared the reclaim field, while, okay, both side reclaim fields have been mostly cleared, so let's look at the reclaim. Team 2, which is the red team, my team, has reclaimed 9.7k mass, while the southern team has only reclaimed 5.4k mass. Mass totals give our team an advantage of about 6k mass in total, but that doesn't mean anything if that mass isn't used. And well, Whiskey's using his 1-for-1's using his mass, I am using my mass. Whiskey is also using his mass. Southern team, actually, almost same picture. Aurorus has a slight bit of mass banked, which I might put down to the still production of just T1 air and a certain lack of focus on more mass upgrades. So he is currently gaining mass, but he doesn't have too much to just hoard for himself because there are no mass storages. A few of my units currently just got bombed by a T1 bomber, but I at least try to always keep some AA in my unit mix to have something to deal with this. And I just now started building a T2 Pgen. If my memory serves me correctly, that one is gonna take embarrassingly long to finish. And yeah, the production of proper T2 units out of my T2 HQ has now started as well. And Whiskey is going after... What's he going after? After something with a Mercy. Might be the ACU, might be the army, I don't remember what the current Mercy... what the current Mercy attack pattern is, but I think the current one was the AoE one. Either way, we don't get to see it because there is a sufficient amount of a endurance army. I push my ACU up forward to take some shots at Doran's army, having finished gun with Whiskey currently going for sensor upgrades, which definitely will help out a lot, increasing vision range by quite a bit, and those 4 T1 bombers are gonna be a bit annoying because I don't have enough T1 AA in the mix to dispatch them quickly, so they do get off some bombs in that. Now it's a Guncom with Nano versus a Guncom without Nano, which goes about as expected, meaning that Doran gets to retreat at almost full health, while I lose most of my army trying to get out of there. But at least I managed to grab his army as well, and with that Whiskey also just finished his advanced range upgrade on his ACU, so he now has the Aeon double range vision upgrade paths, meaning he is still on the normal fire rate, but he has a significantly higher range than other ACUs, even gun upgrade at once. 1-for-1 managed to get a small force through the back of Chiron's defenses, currently picking off engineers in Aurora's base, though that force is quickly being dealt with by T1 bombers stockpiled by Auroras, who is currently working on getting his T2 air presence established, I'm guessing, with the T2 P-gens being built and the current build orders of T1 air still in the mix. T2 land has made its way to the front line for 1-for-1, currently facing off against the predominantly T1 force from Chiron, though Chiron is building some T2 PD fire bases on his side, though certainly a little bit farther back map control wise than we have pushed on the northern side, so that gives the enemy team a little bit less map control, though only by a margin. I am currently in the process of reclaiming the mass field that I created earlier. I have no idea how much of that I actually managed to gather, but currently the red team, my team, is on 40 mass income, on a 40 mass income advantage, and Doran is now going for T2 on his ACU. I roughly remember that this translated to some fire basing later on, which I tried to deal with MMLs, though first I am gonna push back and go for, I think, just normal I think I started a I thought I started a nano regen upgrade over there, but apparently I didn't. Speaking of nano regen, Chiron's ACU, having gun and nano regen, is currently still in the process of building his firebase on the southern side with a mostly T1 army. Nano repair now also going out for 1-for-1, being assisted to only take a minute, even less if he doesn't stall, and going with that. Let's look how mass storages are looking. So we have 1,400 for Auroras, who is apparently still not spending his mass properly. to our benefit, I guess, though Chiron is definitely spending mass, so every bit of overflow finds at least some use. And on our team we have Whiskey and me currently storing up on mass. I don't remember where that came from though. I think that was just like the shift in the game. Wait, no, it was Whiskey and 141 storing up on mass. And 141 is currently once again making use of that mass, while Whiskey is... well, he is starting to build his T3 air grid, so this stored mass will go down fairly quickly as T3 air does take a little bit more mass income. Though those 1800 mass in the storage could also go towards the first T3 max upgrades, but I'm not one to complain about mass usage when I'm often the one doing it as well. The southern side now faces an engagement between mostly Irshivals from 141 versus still the majority of the army from Chiron being composed of strikers, the T1 tank. So the army push itself does heavily favor 141, but 141 is actively pushing into a PD base with currently 2 T2 PD up, a shield and a third T2 PD going up. Though 141 is forcing an investment into missile defenses with some mobile missile launchers on the back, and having nano repair on this ACU, 141's ACU, is definitely gonna take quite a bit of a battering before it's actually in any danger. Especially being close to a rank of veterancy, though I think this was the point where he screamed out something like I'm dead, because yeah, he just got that rank of veterancy and it kinda evaporated to Chiron's ACU fire. But 141 managed to pull his ACU back and lives for another day. Right. Now, 17 minutes into the game, I am finally deciding to go T2, and I think after that go with the nano upgrade, and I am also halfway done with my first T3 max upgrade, but it's not going too well. Reclaim wise, the northern team is still ahead and the gap has just widened with an 8.4k to a 22k mass reclaimed, or the difference of 8.4k to 22k. And 141 is currently sending off his mass because I'm guessing he doesn't use it. Probably, and also because he's seeing the Nothas overhead, which will take him out so that he gets off his mass that he doesn't die with mass in storage. Something that I sometimes, if not often, fail to properly do. So with that, 141 is taken out of the game due to a... well, it's not exactly another snipe. They were basically just circling overhead while Whiskey had some idle ASF in his base. There was just no air response to that. Right, the base of 141 got gifted over to me. I gifted it over to Whiskey to focus more on my side, which did work out somewhat well with me defending against the push over here on the left, leaving behind a reclaim field that I am fairly eager to grab. And position-wise, I don't remember if I already started. I have not yet started my T3 factory upgrade, as opposed to Doran, who has just started it. Though income-wise, we are looking at... oh, Apparently I also have a bunch of mass that I am not using, which meant that I just sent some over to Whiskey instead. Mass income M. The mass income currently heavily favors the northern team with 308 versus 175. With the majority of that coming from Whiskey Frey with 220 income, as opposed to Aurora's, the opposing air players sitting on an income of 47. Which I would guess goes down to just having full T3 maxes versus having full T3 maxes and a secondary base with T2 maxes versus just having T2 maxes. Right, at this point I am trying to re-engage with my ACU, pushing into this fire base, and the comm of Doiron, who is still up on the front. Currently almost parity ACU wise, with my ACU having just gained the second rank of veterancy, putting both ACUs more or less on parity when it comes to both upgrades and veterancy. But I, at that point, am still faced with mobile missile fire focused on my ACU, and the fact that I am and that I am focusing on the units instead of the ACU, meaning that my ACU does take quite a bit of damage. But I managed to whittle down Doran's army a fair bit to... Oh fuck, yeah, I remember. To great effect. And here comes the Norther Snipe. Which I do see. I tried to dodge, but I don't remember how well that worked. Honestly. 3 Northers left. 2 Northers left. I dodge the first bomb. I don't dodge the second one. And barely make it out with 2,500 hit points. Pulling to the back for the second nano upgrade. I think at this point we were guessing that Doran had already had the advanced nano upgrade, but I am pretty sure he does not, looking back at it. Upgrades? Yes, he does not have the second nano upgrade, so I am trying to compensate for an upgrade that the enemy does not actually possess. Which honestly just benefits me a bit more, because a tankier AC is more difficult to take out. T3 units from Doran now coming onto the field. I think I am already on the T3 upgrade, but it is going slow, being only at 20%, though I do have a significant eco advantage compared to Doran, though you wouldn't guess it right now because I am heavily power stalling, which is the main reason I am down to 20 income instead of the... Actually, I don't know if I have an eco advantage, because the... Right, I gifted my engineers over to Whiskey because he has T3 energy, I do not. And when that upgrade finishes, we can see how well my income recovers. Currently the income is even, mostly due to my power stall, and now it's 120 income versus barely 100 from Doran, so I am at an advantage. I would have guessed as much going from the upgraded maxes, with Doran still on 1 T3 max versus me on 3 finished T3 maxes and the fourth one at 90%. Whiskey going for Restorers, which, given the lack of proper air involvement from Auroras, does seem like a fair investment, because while mass for mass restorers do lose to ASF, they can fight on the ground, and if you have a, say, 6-1 income advantage over your enemy air player, it's a pretty fair bet to just go for restorers. Though Whiskey is currently losing mass extractors to a TML from Chiron, which has currently picked off 4,000 mass. Well, that's hefty. I pretty much, as soon as I got a free T2 engineer, just sent some around to build some T2 some tech missile defense around my mass extractors, just so that doesn't happen, and that might have actually worked if not for the fact that my stuff is maybe out of range of that. Yeah, my stuff would have been just out of range of that, so it's not really, that investment was not really that important. Whiskey has just finished Chrono Dampener, which, while it doesn't, I don't think it gives HP to the ACU, it certainly does increase the efficacy of fighting close range with the ACU, because it basically creates a stun radius around the ACU that stuns enemy units, giving your supporting units a lot more time and to actually deal with them. The more common option for a combat Aeon ACU would be shield and followed by heavy shield, just because the severely increased health pool, but Chrono Dampener is also a good choice if you wanna just push in, have something to protect your ACU, which Whiskey sadly does not. Some mobile shields might have helped in that case, because just stacking mobile shields over your ACU is almost comparable to a budget version of personal shield. Though Whiskey is currently preoccupied with a fight in the south, I don't know which of those mexes got taken out by the TMR first, but the army from Chiron that tried to clean that position is already moving back, and there are also some Othans out from Whiskey now moving in to support the T2 army. Titans out from Chiron will definitely not be as effective as they could be, with Titans being mostly good against low HP spam units like T1 spam, early light T2 units or stuff like that. Ilshavas are definitely not a light T2 unit, and Othams, well, they would be more the target of Percivals, which, okay, fair enough, are also now coming out. It's apparently a mix of 2 Percivals, a Titan, and then, what's that, a T3AA? I guess that's a usable army composition to deal with to deal with a wide mix of armies. The GC that has been building from Whiskey Fray for a while now is making its way up to the front line, and I think he gifted it over to me to micro, which, well, I didn't micro it properly, but there is not really that much out from Doiran to do against it, because the majority of the front line over here is composed of MMLs and 2 T2 PDs with very few Othams and some Ilshavas in there. Yeah, there's the Gifted Colossus, and I am moving in. I don't remember if I moved my ICU. I don't think I did. I think I just moved this stuff in without that. And Doran's ACU now under threat by the Restorers from Whiskey, with no air response whatsoever from Aurorus. Well, Aurorus currently has one ASF. I think he tried an air response and it just didn't work. Which, yeah, fair enough. And with that we also get a ton of T3AA spammed up in Byron space to try to deal with this. Right, I am currently trying to apparently get rid of some stored mass to Whiskey because he has built his second GC, and I have started building a lot of T3 engineers that may or may not do something. I think by the time I noticed this Yothotha being almost done, I start building one, though I don't quite remember. Either way, this is certainly not what you want to do if you have if you have 10k mass stored, just having them sit around. Though, to be fair, I actually got around to most of the max upgrades. I think I didn't upgrade those just because pretty much any larger stray army could have just waltzed through until the GC moved in, and then I didn't remember to actually do something with those. So yeah, but the T2 army is still partially intact. I have no idea how much I lost there, but it does seem like I lost about half of that army in that engagement. The T2 army partially intact, with the GC almost back to its original health pool, moving into Doran's main base, while there is a rather significant alternate force from Whiskey moving in on the right side, having taken out pretty much any threat to them, with only 3 Titans currently remaining in the defending force that keeps pushing back. Doran's ACU goes down to the GC. I see the Yothatha and yeah, started building one pretty much as I saw that with my stuff coming in, so I have been building that for a few seconds, but yep, the enemy team the southern team recalls at that, and this Yothatha has been going up really quickly, mostly because I already had mass and a shit ton of build power on standby that wasn't doing anything previously. But yeah, this, as you can see here, there was not really much going on here with hastily spammed up Ravagers from Chiron as an attempt to deal with this, but as soon as the GC would have made its way down there, it would have just been a complete wipe. Especially with the GC having more HP than what it started with. Yeah, either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this cast. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do the naming scheme on these because they are not like the usual interesting games. They are just games I wanted to put on YouTube and couldn't because of software problems, but I sorted that stuff out, so the next stream on the coming Friday will be back to normal, I hope. If stuff doesn't break again until then. Either way, hope you enjoyed, hope to see you in some other video, maybe drop by for a stream, and until then, bye!